All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Rapid Business Growth Show. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and whoever will be watching us later on today, and however long, at whatever time you basically access this video, thank you for watching it. The Today's guest is Ryan Biddulph, and I wanted to bring Ryan in because I've read Ryan and I've been following him, but just looking at what he does is Ryan is known for his blog. Basically, it's called Blogging from Paradise, and you'll see him traveling to all these beautiful places, right? And you'll wonder, what the hell this guy does, right? Okay, what is Ryan doing? And then when I dig further in and I found out, hey, Ryan knows blogging really, really well. And he has been able to basically give himself an income and like a lifestyle which he wants for himself, right? So I wanted to bring Ryan Biddulph today and to talk about basically why blogging is so important for service providers, right? And it doesn't matter what you're doing out there, you're selling a product or a service, but the bottom line is that generating content and basically putting the words out there, answering problems, answering questions and solving problems is so important out there. And we all know that 70% of the Google search, or probably more than that, comes in the awareness space, right? When people are looking for information, right? So Ryan, welcome to the show.
Ali, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Really excited.
Yeah, awesome. So let's start with that. Share your story with us first of all. That how did you got started in this space?
Sure thing. Well, about 9 years ago, I was a fired security guard, totally broke, and I'm like, listen, I want to do something where I have more freedom in my life, where I'm having more fun and just enjoying the ride. So my now wife, then girlfriend Kelly, told me about making money online. I dived in, spent money I didn't have, struggled for a little bit. But more than anything, Ali, I think I just wanted that freedom because the job I was working before, sometimes I'd work 7 days a week, 80-hour weeks, 18-hour days, and it drove me crazy. So long and the short of it, I saw the opportunity to provide something useful to people. Of course, I had to learn my skills and work on them. And then over the years, kind of just learn the basics, which is pretty much creating and connecting to creating this type of lifestyle for myself. And then once I did it for myself, I wanted to help other people do it. So that was really kind of the drive behind what I'm doing right now with Blogging from Paradise.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty awesome, right? Okay. So that one thing clearly tells us that you had a desire, you used blogging, and whatever you wanted, a lifestyle, and you created a really good business out of that, right? So share with our listeners that why blogging is so important and why to start with they should be as a business owners, because in an average day, a local guy or any business owners get bombarded by 50 to 100 different messages that, okay, market your business this way, that way, right? Okay. So start with why blogging?
Well, I think blogging, Ali, is really cool because what I tell content central. You could put so much helpful content out there, and as a business owner, service provider, basically the process is, and I've learned this painfully in the beginning, but over time I learned, for free, and message in your content, this person's this service to help me with this product or help me whatever, then they literally buy.
Okay.
You're putting the content out there through podcasts, through articles, through video, and that's what makes blogging so cool. You have so many different content channels you could share with people according to their preference. And then you're positioning yourself as an expert or an authority, or as just someone who knows your field, knows your services, whatever product you're selling, whatever it is, whatever business you're in. And then as you help more folks for free and you develop a relationship with them through blogging, through all these different platforms that you could promote on your blog, again, podcasts, videos, articles, reviews, then folks will literally start buying in. They'll start hiring you. So it's more about helping people for freemium, and then you go to the premium.
Okay, very cool, right? So basically, start with a freemium model and walk them through, earn their trust first, and bring them down the funnel, right? Okay. So share with basically people who are watching today, is that how they can get started with blogging or content generation to start with?
Well, I guess I'm assuming most of the people who are listening have their businesses or they have their services and they feel passionate about that. But really, it's so important to feel passionate about your business and your blog and not just to do it as being a way to just connect with people. Like, you want to pick a topic, and obviously you'll have your topic set up, and you want to pick a topic that you feel passionate about. I know you probably have that with your business. So once you're in the blogging game, just remind yourself of this idea. You get your domain and hosting with a reputable host. You get your Google for reviews and stuff. But beyond that, just instill this idea into your mind. To get, you give. Or, more appropriately, give to get. So just fall in love with this concept when you're starting with your blog. Number one, it's a skill, like any skill, whether you're going to school or you're learning a job. So it will take time. It will take months and years to really learn it well. And then as you're learning it, you maybe pick a couple different mentors who are really good at blogging. You're going to put what they're saying into action. And you're going to, follow their posts, buy their products, hire them, consultants. And then more than that, just get into this total idea of promoting other bloggers, commenting on their blogs, doing guest posting as you're practicing your writing, because you want to practice your writing every day too. But just keep thinking, give, because your business will grow when you are really giving. It's been my experience over the years, like all the success that really is through my generosity and helping other folks and just fall in love with it too. That's really key with blogging.
Okay, so what is the action plan? So this is good. So I think the value generation is good. What you said, give, generate value, solve people's problem in the front end. Now, what is the first step they should be taking? Because a business owner will be like, well, what I should be writing about? How should I know that what people will be sharing or reading? So just share with us 1, 2, 3 steps, right? So people are like, oh, okay, wow, and this is how I should get started with it.
Sure. As far as knowing what your people want you to write about, or readers, or anything to grow your business, just look at the biggest business problems in your niche, whatever they're having issues with. Like with me, blogging-wise, people want to learn how to drive their traffic or boost their profits. So think about the problems of your ideal consumer, your ideal customer, your perfect customer, your return customers, and blog about it. Whatever your business is, dissect it, break it down. How-to blog posts are very popular. List-style blog posts are also very popular. These are two basic, simple type of posts where you're literally helping folks for free. And maybe you'll put out like a post a week, a post every 2 weeks. Please, definitely not daily, because nobody has that store of content. Even me being a creative machine, I don't post daily on my blog. So maybe like once a week, put out a blog post, 600, 800, preferably like 1,000 words, and just look at top blogs in your niche, or think about folks who've bought from your business and their problems and issues, and create a blog post solution. So it's basically a post of like maybe 1,000 words. You put a couple keywords in there from your niche, but don't keyword stuff, of course. Don't make it obvious. And then just solve it one every couple weeks, maybe every week or so. And the more you do that persistently, that's one way to create. Then as far as the connecting, because you want to amplify things a little bit and get yourself known, what I love doing action-wise is commenting maybe 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, or at least 1 or 2 paragraphs on top blogs in my niche, reading the post, and building bonds with other bloggers in my niche. Big fan of guest posting. And it's just helping others problems, but you're leveraging your presence and you're also building bonds with other bloggers. So those are a few actionable things that I do. I don't do very many things, but I stick with them persistently to really build my blog and my business.
So now, okay. So very good things. Couple of things you mentioned here. You mentioned that the average post length. So let's say 800 to 1,000. So explain to our visitors, that how when they should be writing a short form, when they should be writing a long form, because a lot of people also struggle with that. That okay, hey, you know what? There are bloggers out there who go, let's say, 3,000 word or 4,000 word deep, right? Okay. And there are bloggers out there, let's say Life Hacker, if I give you an example, a 600 word or 500 word article, very precise, right? So what kind of strategy they should be taking there, right?
It's interesting you mentioned that, Ali, because I actually write for Lifehacker, among many different sites. And for them, it was difficult for me. Yeah, I used to write a 7,000-word blog post a week.
Ooh.
So getting down to 600, like, it killed me. I was like, what the heck? You know, I'm not a blowhard, not long-winded, but, you know, I would say so much of it's intuitive. And this is someone, I've written 7,000-word blog posts. I've written 300-word blog posts. Now, you definitely want to get around 1,000 because that's kind of like a cutoff of like what Google kind of digs and what your readers will kind of dig. 600 may be a little too brief. You probably just want to wait a little bit longer. But a lot of it's intuitive too. And I think for some folks, they get this idea of creating value. And obviously guys like Neil Patel are phenomenal and Brian Dean. I mean, they're so good. But sometimes people look at what they're saying and they think, oh, I have to write like a 3,000 or 4,000 word post. You definitely don't. You have to do what resonates with you, what you really have fun doing. And I say err on the side of publishing less frequently.
Yeah.
And writing the 1,000-word post, writing the 1,500-word post, because no matter your business, you want to be, 1,000 words or writing 1,000 words, 1,500 words. Give people something to chew on. Maybe you won't publish again for a couple weeks, but you're giving them a resource so they could read it and they could return to it and study it and take notes on it. And that problem solving and bomb building, that's a real business builder where people can go back to your stuff and read it again and study it. And that's how you have that business building connection that leads to the expanded prospects and client base and all that good stuff. So I'd say probably all the way from that 600, unless you build your brand entirely on it, like Lifehack or some of these other sites. Just think just from any other successful bloggers that are established, 800, low end, but 1,000 words and up. But then don't feel like you have to write 2,500, 3,000, because that can get really heavy, and we could tell when we're being strung along with filler.
So really good, right? Like, now a lot of people will be asking that, let's say if I write a blog, I write 1,000 or 1,200 word blog, right? Okay. Does it just go far as publishing the blog on my website? Or what are the next steps of promoting it and building, like what do you suggest 2 or 3 or 4 steps they should be doing in order to make sure that once they've produced this good piece of content, they can leverage that?
Sure. What I say, Ali, is if you just publish your post and then leave it at that, you may as well be writing a cyber diary. Nobody's going to hear you. All that good stuff happens off-site. Now, this is something that messes with most bloggers' minds in the beginning because they're so used to taking care of themselves and promoting on themselves and micromanaging. The first thing you do, this is the most powerful step. I have appeared on Richard Branson's blog. I think most people know him. Forbes Entrepreneur, Fox News, Positive Pause, 3 million fans. Promote the living stuffing out of other bloggers in your niche. After you publish your post, leave a comment on 5 to 10 other bloggers in your niche on their latest post, and also tweet their latest post. What this does is it builds friendships, because the easiest way to promote your blog is to build friendships with other folks, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 other people who then promote you, and that's how you get that mushroom effect that all bloggers want. But I think it's very confusing for people because they think, oh, just do it, and I'm going to tweet it out, and I'm going to Facebook. I'm like, to who? Who are you going to tweet it to? You're going to face your friends, your followers? Yeah. You don't attract followers, or actually you do attract followers, but you do it by making friends with. I would say for like those local service, think of other bloggers, use Google, use a site like Triber, TRIB, which is a phenomenal site for meeting other bloggers, Facebook groups, G+ communities, befriend these people. You could share your links there, but make friends with these other folks. And that's one of the quickest and easiest ways to promote your post. Because, blog commenting is also another awesome stream through which to promote your latest post. Now you're going to promote it. You're actually going to make friends through blog commenting. You're not going to promote and drop your link there. But it's all about the friends, Ali, and that's action-wise, that's the only thing that you really need to do to really make things pop. Now, down the road, you could start a podcast. You could also start promoting live videos, talking about your latest blog post. You have to share it too. But this friend-building thing, through say like Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, so that's impressive, right? Like, and I will sum it up because you were just breaking out there. So I'm just going to repeat, like, what you just mentioned clearly. That, like, the idea is that, like, guys, what Ryan was saying, that make sure that, like, when you produce an amazing piece of content, you go out there and promote it properly. And how can you even promote it? One of the best ways is to talk to other influencers, talk to other bloggers, right? Okay, someone has 1,000 people reach, someone has 5,000 people reach, and a lot of people love to help you out, especially in your industry. They love to, like, collaborate with each other, right? Okay, and there was one website, like, Triber, which Ryan mentioned, that, like, like, I will also have that in the comment section, so you guys can go and check it out, right? So Ryan, like, now, so let's talk about guest blogging, right? Like, how can they get started with guest blog posting, and where can they find opportunities for guest blog posting? Like, who will basically, like, come and tell them, like, hey, you know what, I want to publish your blog, right? Like, I'm sure no one walks to a business owner and say, hey, you know what, I'm interested in talking about your business. So how they should be going around that?
Sure. This is where relationship building is so big, Ali, because out of like thousands of guest posts I've placed, I've only pitched 2 people. Most opportunities come to me because I gain invites to guest posts. There's probably a few things you want to do. Number one, write 500 to 1,000 words daily in a Word document just for practice, then trash the document. Because to get guest posts placed, you got to be a really skilled writer, and especially on top blogs. So number one, practice writing every day. Just private, trash it. Number 2, build those relationships again. Because what happens is when you come in cold, and I get this all the time, hey, get me featured on Forbes, Ryan. Hey, get me featured on Lifehack. I don't know these individuals, and I get so many of these pitches that they just fall on deaf ears. I'm like, who are you? There's, I have all these friends around me who I gladly feature on these blogs, or who I'd invite to guest post on other blogs. So build those relationships. And then really stick to your niche. Yeah. I think one of the things is when you're building the bonds through blog commenting and promoting other bloggers, you're going to get a lot of invites to guest post. Or if you pitch some of your friends, they'll be like, yeah, sure, you could guest post here. You're doing your daily writing practice. Your skills are improving. But then stick to your niche. Don't, if you're running a, like for me, a blogging tips business, I'm not going to be spending all my time guest posting on personal development blogs. I focus on blogging tips, say like Pro Blogger and these other blogging sites. So really think of the relevance, build those bonds, and just practice your writing every single day. And that's really one of the keys. When you could really write, people actually go to you and say, hey, can you guest post for me?
Yeah. Okay, so like, now, can you break it down for a couple of easy steps for guys like, who will be listening, the ideas that how they can get started with a guest. So you mentioned clearly well that build relationships, right? But are there any websites, let's say like, can they, let's say Google that, like, websites accepting guest blogs, right? Okay. And one thing very interesting you mentioned is how they should form their pitch in a way that, like, when the editor sees it, he's like, man, like, I'm interested in this guy, right? Like how the pitch, like what does the pitch defines a good pitch?
Yeah, I would say really get intimately familiar with the blog, Ali. Read it for like 2 to 3 months. I got a guest post placed on Positively Positive, 90,000 subscriber list. They're picky as heck. I mean, they're really picky about who they publish. They're usually like personal development, famous folks like Tony Robbins. And I got placed there. What you do is you follow the blog for like 2 to 3 months. Okay. So this isn't easy or quick, but that's why it's hard to get on these sites. You got to be patient. Learn the voice, learn the blogging voice, and then when you pitch them, write a title that literally fits that blog to a T. For Pause, it was all about compassion and pain points, and I don't usually write like that. But for Pause, you got to do it. So I learned the voice of the blog, and then writing every single day. I can't stress it enough. To get a guest post placed, you got to be good. To be good, you have to spend hundreds of hours practicing on your writing. There's no way around that. And again, this is why most people are begging to get, because they don't put in the work. So practice your writing every day. Practical tip number 1, don't even bother pitching if you can't write.
Ryan, your voice.
Then when you pitch, learn the voice of the blog. And then when you pitch these other bloggers, first of all, you personalize every pitch. Hey, I love your blog. I followed or read your latest post. You really got to wine and dine people as you're working up in circles. You have to really be mindful of what they like, their latest post, kind of compliment them. Obviously, because you're real, you're being genuine. But then think about a topic and a title that fits the post's or the blog's voice perfectly and perfectly serves their audience. And when you do that, you're going to get most of these pitches placed. Of course, the real key, though, is building the relationships, because then once you do that, you don't even have to pitch people. I've placed thousands. I've pitched 3 people. And I've had over 1,000 guest posts. Over 1,000 bloggers have come to me and have said, Ryan, please guest post on my blog. That's the power of relationship building. They'll come to you. So that's probably the number one thing you could do online. Even if you can't write that well, you'll get guest posts on top blogs because friends help friends out. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it, right? Okay. All right. So, when to sum it all up, right? Okay, I want to take a kind of a parting piece of guidance from you, right? That people who will be listening to it today or watching it, they'll be saying, okay, you know what? To sum it all up, right? I get it that it's important for me. Okay. How can I find that? If I'm doing guest blogging and linking, right? Should I be targeting national or local people, right? Local bloggers, right? Okay. And thirdly is how can I find the demand curve? So demand curve means that how many people are talking about, let's say, lose weight through green tea, very specific topic, right? Are there any tips around that? Yeah.
Really, your best source of blog posts for me, Ali, is just asking your readers, and for guest posts is asking your readers, really keeping the pulse on your niche. So you're thinking about that weight loss. You could kind of look through Google for it. You could Google search for keywords, but beyond that, just look at the pulse of what's going on in your services niche through other blogs, through trade manuals, through whatever different type of channels you can. And the more you just focus on the problems, that's exactly what people need help with. You kind of identify those pain points. So as far as the demand curve, I guess more than anything, and this has just worked for me, and I think a lot of other bloggers that are really killing it, just keep asking, keep polling your readers, top blogs in your niche, so you can go through the common fields, and especially these are like national publications, if you want to say, and different articles, and even if no comments, kind of just what the scuttlebutt is on social media, and see what people are struggling with. And there are your guest post ideas and blog post ideas. Now, as far as the actual scale of blog, when you're new, focus on the smaller scale, focus on the local, because getting on those national like the bigger publications, it takes time to build the relationships and your writing skills. So focus on the smaller scale blogs and then gradually work your way up. And eventually, as you build the relationships and you improve your writing skills, then you'll be able to place posts on both, because you'll have the friends there, you'll have the writing confidence and clarity. And that's kind of why I do. I focus really up and down through all the different scales to build those more intimate bonds one-to-one, and to also build the relationships with the top blogs, or top bloggers, I should say, and then their audiences, but then also to leveraging my presence and being seen a little bit more by appearing on some of these quote-unquote big dog blogs.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, Ryan, right, I really appreciate it. I think, to sum it up, right, guys, blogging is really, really critical for your local business. The bottom line is that, this is one of the channels which I personally think that if you do it strategically and properly, it can bear the fruits for next few years for you, right? It's not Instagram or Facebook, right? Okay. Some other channels are more instant. Blogging is building a building, right? And look at the website traffic of Neil Patel, and you look at the website traffic Ryan has, right? Okay. Look at our blog, right? All that traffic, right, generated over time, then you end up generating such an immense amount of inbound leads that you don't have to try. And a lot of local service providers, Ryan, we know they're just spending $5,000 on pay-per-click, $10,000 on pay-per-click, $3,000 on Facebook advertising, where they can get people when the people's intent is very high, because when they are searching for something, they are coming to you. In the other way around, if you're advertising, you are going to them. So it's a very different relationship model there. And I think that as a local service provider, you should be taking advantage of blogging. Make sure that you get started with some things we have laid down really good points right there, that how you can get started. What I'll be doing is I'll be posting Ryan's a link, website link on in the basically description area. Also, if you have comments, just go down there and leave us a comments, and I would love to get back to you. Thirdly, we'll be also be posting some resources around how to basically write a good headline, because a lot of people struggle with that. They'll be like, well, how can I even write A/B split test? So how can I try different things so I can make sure that people who are reading it, because most of the people, they read the headline and they even decide after that should I even be reading further down or not, right? So headline is one of the major conversion factors in reading the blog. But other than that, thank you, Ryan, so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Ali, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it myself.
Okay, take care. Well, guys, you guys have an amazing weekend. Hopefully, wherever you are, the sun is shining, right? Okay. But as I said, ask us any questions. Ryan will be here too. He will be answering your questions. So make sure reach out to us. We would love to answer any questions related to blogging. If you're struggling getting started with it, if you're stuck and you're not getting traffic with it, if you're writing and you're not getting conversion from it, doesn't matter what stage you are, reach out to us and we'll love to help you out. Have a good day, guys. Make it have a good day. I'll be seeing you next week at the same time, Friday at noon, with another business growth show episode, right? Till then, enjoy this one. Bye bye.